Hello guys, so in this video I will review a book by Fishkin called Lost and Founder. So this one, a painfully honest field guide to startup world. So who is Fishkin? Basically he is the founder of Moz, which is one of the most popular SEO software platforms. So this topic is actually quite close to me because I'm really passionate about SEO, which means like search engine optimization, basically making your website being found on Google. So Rand Fishkin is kind of like one of the most important SEO influencers. So this book was really like close to me, like how did he build this scene, like this very popular SEO platform, and like which obstacles did he have, like how did he manage to do it. What got me about this book, pretty honest book about startup world, because frankly there is a lot of hype and how to say like bullshit in the startup areas. Every time you have like people who are like promising some like unrealistic things, some of them achieve them, but a lot of people is just like hype. So like Rand Fishkin, he just in this book he just tries to be like really honest. So first of all, like the first chapter, I will just go through some chapters, through my like highlights and what impressed me. I won't just like spoil a lot of things, maybe just like a bit, but it's just like my impressions of this book and why you should read it, especially if you're into startups, if you're into marketing and SEO. I think it should be a must read. So first chapter, the truth shall set you free from a lot of shitstorms. Basically, he tells about like his beginnings, that it was like really tough. There were like no money, and he was like in huge like credit story, like debt collectors were looking after him, and yeah, so he was already doing his like agency for years with his friends and mom, but it wasn't taking off. So every person that tells you like that startup is super easy, you just need to start in 2 months to generating a lot of money, it's just nonsense. So he's just truly honest about it, that like for years there were like huge credits, no money, and even now he has a super shit like credit story, so he can't like really afford like to take credits. Then he tells about why startup world hates on services and why you shouldn't. So by services he means some SEO consultancy. So basically he tells his story when he first started doing like SEO consultancy, and it started to generate some revenue. But what is the difference between consult like service and product is that software product can be much more scalable. Therefore, like the valuation, the multiplier is much higher for a product. So for example, if you have a consultancy that generates like 1 million yearly revenue and you have a product which generates the same amount of revenue, you can sell the product company like 8 times more expensive. So the company which generates like 1 million revenue, the product software product can be sold for like 8 millions, let's say, if like on the higher range. But the consultancy maybe is like 3 million, because the main reason is that you can scale the product really fast without hiring too many more people, too many resources and stuff like that. In this book he tells that in fact it can be like, even with a software product, it can be really hard to get this liquidity, to get this cash, because if you just have a successful consultancy, you can actually generate a lot of money and you'll be fine. Maybe not that like many millions as they like describe this, but you will be fine and okay. But with product, to get into this liquidity, you need to either sell it or you need to go IPOs, like go public. And for that to happen, it can be super tough to achieve. So in this book, Rand Fishkin actually describes how like all his friends and other people are constantly asking him like, hey, you are so rich, just give me some money. But in fact, he says, while Moss still generates like 50 million plus yearly revenue. He's not rich because Moss wasn't sold to any company and Moss is not public. And basically his salary as SEO is just like limited by board and can be like 200, 300K. So it's not something up in the skies. So he just like is being brutally honest about all these startup folks who like, hey, you have a startup, it's like a multi-millionaire. So yeah, that's about it. And he also says that he and his wife, they can barely afford a house. Of course, he has all these like stocks in his company, but until this company is sold, it's not liquid. So that's the point in this book. Then he also shares his stories about like how to ask for funding. Also, I really like his idea about scalable marketing flywheels compared to growth hacks. So by growth hacks, he understands like just some spontaneous hacks which you do like without a long-term strategy. And by flywheel, he means generating some SEO campaigns which will last. So in this case, he means SEO, for example. So he generated all these like millions of visitors to his blog, and every month they just come back. And it's not that you did some marketing campaign and it disappeared. All these visitors for his blog keep coming like every month, and he has this influencing platform from which he can sell his product. So that's like a really important focus. If you are in the marketing SEO and you want just to scale some products, so that's the way to do it, just in my honest opinion. He in the chapter 13, it's called "Should you sell your startup early? Yes, probably." So again, he's like brutally honest against all this like startup hype. So it's spoiler alert, guys. So he describes his story with HubSpot when HubSpot offered for Moss like $20 million or something. And he denied this offer because he was thinking that like this startup will be like super huge. But in fact, now he regrets this because it would generate a lot of like liquidity for him. And in fact, HubSpot also offered him a part of like shares in HubSpot, and HubSpot went public in like 2011 or something, and now HubSpot is like super huge CRM company. So he just constantly regrets in this book the decision to not sell it. And he says that basically if you have like a product which generates, let's say, 10 million, 20 million yearly revenue, and someone offers to like buy it, sometimes it can make sense just like to sell it, because otherwise, if you're going like to moonshot, you should be like confident that you can get there, that you can get like over 100 million revenue, and then you can go like public. So that's like an important point if you are looking to liquidity in a startup world. Then he also tells about self-awareness, about focus, about vulnerabilities, all this stuff, and like just being honest. That is like super tough. Also, he's talking about pivoting, that pivoting is really good. Twitter pivoted, like Slack pivoted, and all these huge companies should pivot. The moment you don't see that your idea performs, you just need to pivot like the next day. But he says that in fact, pivoting is like super tough, especially if your company raises some funds and you have like 50 employees. When you're pivoting, like it's a disaster. So like just try to figure it out. So in overall, I would really recommend to go through this book, especially if you're into technical marketing. And just enjoy the honesty of this book, and that's what I got from it, that the person just tells like the honest information without all the like startup bullshit. So that's all for me. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for everyday software hacks and some more like book reviews. Put a like and some suggestion in the comment section below if you like this book review, and I will add more book reviews like this.